Today we're going to see if you can beat the suffering that ties the mind after almost 20 years. I'm going to try not to talk over some of the cutscenes and some of the more interesting parts. So let's get into it.
Yo, Tor, where your head at? I'm talking to you. I know you're low, my man. Carmen giving you divorce papers this morning? That's some low-down, dirty business. Wasn't even your fault. You were baited. The word I heard? Blackmore hired that fool to come pick a fight with you. Coached him to say those lies about your boys. Then, surprise, the police walked right in. Someone tipped him. No coincidence to it. Blackmore was all over that. Now, Blackmore's got collared himself. He's in here now, with the freaks and the fiends and the schemers and us. Now, I can set him up for you, but there's just one hitch in the plan. I never laid eyes on the man. What'd he look like?
Looks like trouble.
Whatever, my man. Shoot, I'll help you bury that motherfucker.
Somebody needs to learn his place.
What's that you gonna do, boy?
Yeah, that's right. I'm a last-minute entry, and now I'm playing this game.
Blackmore owns Eastern now. Particularly you two.
Ain't a living soul that owns Tort. He ain't no slave, and neither am I.
Bluster is the tool of the sucker player.
You shut your mouth when we talk to you. Learn some respect.
You're the only one even letting him play this game. Without you, he's nothing.
When you get an order from Blackmore, you will follow it without question.
Now you're gonna play on my team. You may be tough, but I'm smart, and smart always wins.
Blackmore's got his hooks in this place, and now they're in both of you.
Why do you think Carmen left you? You weren't enough of a player for her.
And if you don't do what Blackmore says, your precious little boys may not make it to junior high.
Fuck all y'all! Ain't no way in the world!
Game's over. Finish these losers.
Yeah, I know that took a little bit, but it helped set up the entirety of the style of this game. It's an action horror game. It's pretty fun. Again, for being almost 20 years old, it holds up in places. Others, not so much, but it's not bad for what it is. I said before that I'd be playing a game in the style of Dead Space. And with the dismemberment and some of the enemies in this game, and the overall feel of it, I'd say this does a pretty good job for being close to Dead Space before Dead Space. First little hint of what's actually going on some of the weirder shit. Like I said, it's an interesting game for having come out in 2005.
Blackmore's got a deal for you. He says you
Now, Torque here, he's in prison for allegedly killing his wife and kids. Well, that actually changes dependent on how you finish the first game, because this is the second. It's either he killed his wife and his son killed his other son and then himself, or he killed his wife and then his kids, or he killed all of them. I think I said that already. Or Blackmore, the guy with the scarred face, paid someone to kill everybody. It's a strange thing. One of the worst fucking things in this game next. This dude always creeped me the fuck out. I guess that works because he's called the Creeper. Very strange enemies in this game. One of the biggest things that I found interesting replaying this game, though, is that it has an almost a supernatural unit that goes and contains these things, which are called malefactors. And in recent years and whatnot, you know, the SCP Foundation has become popular, and it just kind of reminds me of that. Also rewatching an old sci-fi show, not a science fiction show, but a show off the Sci-Fi Channel. That was called Warehouse 13, and that reminds me quite a bit of it too. It's an interesting idea that's been around for quite some time.
Now only the real players are
Here's Blackmore again.
Ready for checkmate?
Here's the rage mode for this game. Like I said, all the rage back in the early 2000s for there to be a rage mode in pretty much every game you played. This is the Beast and Man, whatever you want to call it. Thing to keep in mind about the Beast with Torque here is he doesn't actually turn into this thing to the people around him. It's supposed to show him blacking out in rage. It's a strange thing there. If you wonder why people don't react to, you know, I guess he's supposed to be like 30 or something. The 30-year-old randomly hulking out into a monster with a fucking blade for an arm. But that's why, because they don't actually see it. Right? They say that, in the first game there, one of the inmates writes like a bestiary of all of the monsters. And, yeah, it notes Torque as just... And I'm saying Torque as in, like, torque wrench. If you can't understand it too well. Yeah, he just loses control. Now we get brought in by this, like, Foundation. I think they're actually called the Foundation, which is weird.
Can't follow simple directions. That was not smart.
These are the ones that like to catch the malefactors, as they call it.
Everyone coming off Carnate. We need to know what happened. This way. We have a place you can get warm just up here.
Carnate was a prison island that the first game took place on. And he passed out. That happens quite a few times, and it's been happening his entire life, mind you.
This guy's the prime. Really? Him? Positive. Jordan's waiting for him. With me. 1, 2, 3, left.
They called him the Prime there. That doesn't mean he's like the original progenitor of these things or anything like that. Because I guess these things date back a long time. He's called the Prime because he can actually kill these things. While a heavily armed, well-trained group can kill malefactors, no one seems to be able to kill them as quickly and as easily as Torque, for some reason.
Which one of you Neanderthals
As noted, he can kill
dropped the
things with his bare hands or a fucking lead pipe.
Who
Right.
can tell me something that isn't painfully
Jordan,
obvious?
we need to extract you ASAP.
Seems prudent.
So they want to figure that one out.
You staying with him. You outside the door.
I don't think it's ever actually
Do it.
explained why he can do that.
That's locked, right? Good. If he gets out, you will suffer. Count on it.
Giving orders to guard. Shit goes sideways, as always. Fade to black, come back out of it, and everyone's dead. That happens quite a bit too.
Hostile last seen in tackle building.
Oh, like the other games and stuff of the time, you can see most of his weapons and stuff that he carries. Handguns and stuff, I don't think you can, although they might just be in the holsters on his chest. Long guns you can carry on your back, same with two-handed melee weapons. Now those doctors there, we had the ability to kill them if we wanted, because this game has a karma system in it. Kind of like Fallout.
Hey, I need to show you something really important at the apartment. To get there,
And
you
there's
need
his
to
dead
go
wife talking to him.
underground.
Has a karma system in it. You know, you do good thing. Well, it's harder to do good things, but your
Don't!
your physical appearance changes. I guess it'd be more akin to Fable in that point. And your beast mode changes. There we go, passing out again. Like I said, it happens quite a bit. There's a reason for that. It'll get to it later.
My hunters.
Travel on through. Weird dog things. Or a type of malefactor. Those ones are commanded by a spirit. Or a specter. Whatever the fuck they want to call these guys. Because these guys aren't malefactors. These guys were people that existed. This one was the slave hunter. Well, a slave hunter. Named Copperfield. So, and the other one was a dude in Baltimore, Maryland, that just did not like women.
I won't let you.
And again, weird shit like this happens quite a bit in the game. And now we get our flashlight, because can't be a good horror game without, you know, fucking feeding batteries on shit. Gotta say, not as bad in this game as it happens later on. Although this game would be probably amazing remade. He refights some more malefactors. This one's a burrower, which I'll toss in all of the entries in the bestiary at the end of the video. That way, if you'd like to know about what the fuck these things are, you can.
It's hard to go back, T, I know, but you have to get to your apartment.
Because they
I
exist.
always wanted something better for the boys,
They're
but you did
things
your
that-
best with what you had. I know that.
I don't know if they just recently came about in-universe for the game, or if they've always been there. I feel like if they've always been there, people would figure a way to deal with them.
Not bad. Looks
Right.
pretty good. You're really trying to make a good home for the boys, T. Right over here,
proud of
in
you.
your room. Please, T. We don't have a lot of time.
More hallucinations and shit, and going around his old apartment. Gotta say, not a bad-sized apartment.
Good, T. This is the place. It's
Another
in your
reoccurring
closet.
theme of
Open
this
it up,
game
see what
is
you
random
find.
phones ringing. Well, you don't need to
If you
answer
don't
any of
remember
those
what happened
phones.
then, you'll
If you
never
do,
understand
there's
what's
like
happening now. Is it
little
coming
bits of
back,
dialogue
T?
here and there.
All of it? Maybe you're
Sometimes
ready.
it's just people
I
breathing into
found
the phone
this
creepily or
Jesse.
fucking laughing.
Only one person I know could have written this. Blackmore.
So we got notes from our dead kids, I want to say, from the closet. And then her ghost gives us a note from Blackmore. Hey, look, she's dead. Seems to be one of the reoccurring themes is Torque did kill her, but it's a strange thing for this game. And dead son.
That fool tried to play me.
Right now, in the beginning of this game, since we have neutral karma, and I think it even had some sort of like save
Already hates his dad.
transfer thing that if it would read the karma from your original save from the first game and then import that to this to depict why Torque was in prison. Because what it's going with right now is that Torque killed Carmen, his wife, and then his son, Corey, I want to say, killed the youngest son, and then himself after he saw Torque do it. Which is like the neutral one. Mind you, his son was high on drugs that a drug pusher was giving him at that point, but it's just strange.
Take it all. Whatever you want.
Come across another moral choice. You could either let these guys kill this guy, or you can help him out. You help him out, and then you have to fight off like a few waves of malefactors. That's a reoccurring theme for whenever you try to help people. These things, which, again, like I said, Dead Space-esque style of game. Because if you would have said that was a fucking necromorph, I'd believe you. Again, an old PlayStation 2 game. Not super hard. Right, they wanted to get more of the story across. I want to say Surreal Studio. And the publisher was Midway. And if that name sounds somewhat familiar to you, it's because Midway became NetherRealm Studios, the publishers and makers of Mortal Kombat. So, yeah, I could see them doing another one of these like this. It's an IP they haven't really done much with for a long time. Well, I don't even know if they own the IP. And then Copperfield again. Killing, how does he put it? He puts it as killing slaves. That's what he puts it as. Oh yeah, and there's sometimes little stories tossed around like this on how some malefactors came to be. Like this one's called the Gorger. I guess in the Great Depression, when no one had any food, the preacher, priest, whatever you want to call him, of this place here was cutting up corpses, people that were already dead, so that he could save the lives of people that were starving to death. So these are Gorgers. I guess you could call them like, it would be along the style of a Wendigo from native folklore.
You kill it, then we let you in here. You be safe with us.
This one's less of a moral choice and more, you know, staged area combat for a game. Well, arena combat, really. You know how it is. Put them in a confined space and let them fight for a while.
Yo, man, take this. Hope it helps you. Sorry, man. You a little too crazy to get up in here with us. Can't take no chances, man.
I mean, that's fair.
No more of those
He just killed these things with a fucking baseball bat. And then Copperfield again.
Your kind cannot hide from the law, from the righteous.
Help me! Oh, fuck! Help me!
Again, his entire thing is a slave never outran him, so he would always catch every one of them. But if they did get away, or if they were the descendants of runaway slaves, he's killing them now, which is fucking weird.
I've got some friends that can get this thing started right.
Now here's Blackmore again. And like the first time, he's here to goad out the beast. So, use a gauntlet, kill these, I think they're called slicers. Build up your rage meter, which is now underneath our health. Use rage mode.
You're getting closer.
And I do like that little detail. Shine a flashlight in these things' faces and they don't like it. They'll shy away from it, which is pretty cool. And there we go. And rage mode is full. Use rage mode. Unique thing about this rage mode in this game is that if you let the meter run completely empty, you'll be stunned for a little bit and you will take damage. Which is a neat little mechanic, you know. Compared to like God of War where it's, you know, you run out of rage mode, you're fine.
Welcome back. And I look forward to playing the game with you.
Yo, bro.
You made another moral choice here. You could always just shoot these people in the face if you wanted to. And that's your bad karma, of course. You could just fuck off and leave them be. Which doesn't net you any karma. Which is, again, fine. Or you can help them out. I'm trying to help out some of them in this run. This is some fucking tweaker here. Gotta help him out. Now, as we're helping him out, as he says, get to a place that's safe. You come across other people you can help too. And this is what helping him get to a safe place meant. Getting him some drugs. Also, again, fairly graphic for the time. I'd still say fairly graphic today. Yep, and that was a good deed, apparently.
That's the... Yeah. Hey, man. What?
So out of it, you don't even know the dude's dead.
On the floor.
Now we're introduced to another malefactor. Not dangerous by themselves, but when they're in a group, along with other malefactors, they get extremely dangerous. These are called mainliners. There are two versions of almost every type of malefactor in this game. And, well, I say two versions. There's a version from the first game which was set on a prison island, and then there's versions in this game which are set in Baltimore, Maryland. The versions in this game represent drug addicts. The versions in the first game, which was set on a prison island, represented the prisoners killed by lethal injection. So we help this junkie get to her child that she left in this room and then locked in here. But the kid was already dead. Or she killed the kid or something, I don't know. Game is fucked. Next type, these are, I think, marksmen or firing squads. One of the two. You gotta have your mounted gun, you know, segments in these games. Take it as a product of its time, you know. Does it really fit? Not at all. So we make our way to our buddy's bar.
Show me that shifty snake oil dealer. I've never laid eyes on him.
I know your old lady. Fucking nice rack.
And while we're here, we end up, well, this is how Torque ended up in jail 5 years ago. From the beginning, when he and his friend, they were playing chess. This is how he ended up in jail that time. No. Prison, I guess? Corrections, well, I guess they're all corrections facilities. And you'll notice it didn't show Torque attacking him. That's because he blacked out. That would have been the Beast taking over. Why they also arrested the barkeep, I don't know, but of course, Blackmore there, as always.
What's the little lady going to say now?
Blackmore's entire thing is Torque used to work for him, and then he pretty much told him to fuck off. I'm not doing that anymore. And now he's not. He's annoyed that he can't keep his hooks in him. Our first human enemies, they drop fucking grease guns for some fucking reason. Like it's World War II or some shit. And now our first, like, Spectre fight. Although, we're not really fighting him. We're fighting these annoying fucking enemies.
For my warrior to escape. You cannot hide from the truth. You are property, and I return property with scratch and owner forever.
Because Copperfield was a person that was in Baltimore. He'd hunt down slaves and stuff. With his hounds. And these things here, just, again, more shit that looks like it's out of Dead Space. I can tied up, bound human heads with blades on them, attached to fucking, I want to say pit bull bodies. It's, yeah, it's fucked. Again, they could do so much with this game nowadays. So much. It's just a shame they're not ever going to. Although, the new shtick in Hollywood is to make villains and stuff sympathetic. You'll notice our form has changed some. We have hair now, and chains coming out of our back. The more one way you go with morality, the more your beast form changes, the more bad shit you do, the worse you get, the more beast you become, right? And the different styles of powers you get. And then there's good. The more good stuff you do, you get different powers and stuff too, and you get different... how to put it? You become more human. It's like Torque remains in control of the rage instead of the rage taking control of him. Got our friends here to help us out at this point. Traveling down through the tunnels, the sewers, the underground infrastructure, you learn the story of how the tunnelers became to be. Well, part of the story on how they came to be. Again, I'll just toss in the entirety of the bestiary at the end. It's not all that long. It's like 3 minutes or so of all of the monsters you meet in game. These ones here, super annoying. Again, they only really pop up out of the ground to attack you. And you gotta fight off a few waves of the slicers, which are, you know, fairly interesting.
Y'all float down here.
I want to say this wasn't too long after Tim Curry as It was a thing, so that was an interesting little nod to that.
My aim was always true. To this day, I have never lost a slave. Not even the great-great-grandson of a runner.
And there you go. Gotta fight more of these fucking things. They are annoying. I hate anything that has a weird fucking movement style to it. Mostly shit with lunging attacks. I don't like that. It's hard to keep aim on them. Also, I feel like there's some type of acceleration going on with this, because it was a PlayStation 2 game originally, so I wouldn't be surprised if there was some type of... And here he is. Fucking weird goddamn enemy, man. His body count was said to be between like 50 and 250. And of course we black out again. Blackout again. Here we have to keep this lady safe. We don't need to. We could just shoot her in the face and call it a day. But I wanted to get to a certain morality. Now, the mainliners, if you go over them after you kill them, you get poisoned anyway. Like if they were to hit you with one of their syringes, which is fun in small areas like this where there's wave after wave of enemy. And that is the ability I wanted to keep for most of the game. The marksman ability. It's quick and easy just to deal with a bunch of enemies in rage mode. And again, she didn't say anything about, you know, him turning into a beast or anything, because no one sees that, right? The only thing that happens is he just becomes super strong or something. It's strange. It's strange. Although I feel like it is a good way to represent blacking out in anger, which is a thing that does happen to some people. We're now back at the beginning, where we were kept tied to a fucking board. Pick up some batteries, head on down. And again, we could let him kill her right there. We don't. I find it funny that you could stagger him like that before he gets out his little dialogue there, which is kind of funny. No idea if my clock can be heard in the background. An old cuckoo clock I fixed up. Yeah, it goes off once in, well, twice every hour. We have to help her get to a boat so that she can head back. Well, so she can head to the prison island we came from, because her husband was a guard there. You meet him in the first game and have the option to kill him if you want. We drop the boat for her. She heads on out. Although this part here bugged out the first time I did it, and I couldn't use the control panel. The guards also didn't spawn in for me to kill them, but, you know, quick reload, easy enough to deal with.
So much. Her family.
You know, another little arena thing. You got a place to duck into to get ammo and whatnot. Again, on-rails shooter portion. You couldn't have a game in the early 2000s without one. Just kind of how it goes. Does it fit in the game? Not really. But it's always interesting.
Too bad you couldn't say Malcolm. I couldn't stop myself. But do you remember what you did to me?
And there's another flash of his dead family. Head on further into the sewers or underground infrastructure. We're met with this lady. She's been here her whole life. And there he is again. Strange, strange enemy.
You'd better get quicker than that if you want the choice bits for yourself. And you'd better stop hanging out with that other fucking cunt. I warned you.
I think it's his voice actor. He really sells it. Next type enemy, the suppressor. It's like a prison guard, bunch of Thompsons in their body. They can only kill anything that's in their flashlight range, which their flashlight's shoved through their fucking head, so... Line of sight and all. This is one of the guys from the beginning of the game. The one that was speaking about how we'd have to do what Blackmore says and all that.
I mean, lots of bugs in Eastern. But you were the buggiest I ever seen. The things you did in here. I mean, you sure made your mark. But why would you hire someone?
And he's dead. Only after Torque blacked out. Reoccurring theme. Head on out. Do this entire thing here. There are some enemies you can only kill if you're in beast mode. That's these darker colored enemies. They have armor plating on them. And that's just how that goes. They also summon other enemies. And they do that because there are some areas you can only get through by using the beast to destroy walls and whatnot. So that's their way of giving you, keeping you from like soft locking yourself, right? Here we meet the new warden of the prison here. He's the son of the previous prison warden, and he wants help trying to round up his men and keeping shit from getting worse. I do try to help him. Do try to help him.
Let the blood wash it all away.
And again, flashes of Blackmore, weird shit happening. It's a interesting thing. Now you see what happened here 5 years ago when his father was killed, which created these things. Seems like notable events make malefactors. Like a firing squad taking out a person, they become a firing squad, or a person being killed by a lethal injection becomes a mainliner, or someone buried alive becomes a burrower, or a, you know, shit like that. It's interesting, to say the least. They could have done so much, they could do so much with it. And it's been a long enough time since this game came out, almost 20 years, that they could make an entire world, different series, well, and it's a series of games with different protagonists. As I was heading around with the warden here, he got stuck because he stood up for some reason and clipped himself into the geometry of the level, and he can't move forward. So the game's stuck at this point, which leaves only one thing to do. If I want the game to progress without needing to reload a save that was like an hour and a half old, because gotta love old saving methods in game.
Reckoning days here, man. Believe. I know what's what. Come on.
Meet up with a friend here. You notice he's a little hostile now.
When it finds itself threatened, there's no limit to what it will do to
when he was so happy-go-lucky to help us out.
Reality. It's such a tragedy when one
search around some, grab some guns and ammo. Like every game of the time, Magnum is the best gun in-game. Kills most shit in one shot from any distance. So we come over here to talk to our buddy.
Now hold up. Right there before I snap this hammer down. It's been years, man. Years I've been trying to get
Seems a little mad.
Blackmore. And what the fuck is up with you, my man? First I hear this, I can't believe. I say no way. Not my man, Torque. That cracker bleeding out in the basement, he told me what's what. And he got no reason to lie. My brain ready to pop. It's too whack. Nobody.
And we're starting to get to that point again.
Oh my yes. Blood,
and
blood
he's dead.
Everywhere. But can you read the writing on the wall?
Weird how that keeps happening.
I'll tell you all the truth you'll ever need to hear.
And of course, Blackmore's around to taunt us, talk to us, do whatever.
They've been in isolation for 6 months. They're going insane.
Going soft on me, Captain. I know what works with
I hear the specters of what happened here in isolation, solitary confinement, whatever you want to call it. Back in the day, there used to be prisons dedicated to this. You'd only have like a window that was a cross, and the guards would walk around with like bags on their shoes, and you'd be stuck in a small, like, 5x6 cell. It was fucking weird. Anyway, that act of keeping prisoners in solitary confinement until they went insane and killed themselves created this thing, the isolationist. Also, if you come across lockers that are locked with a padlock, you can shoot the padlock off and get whatever's inside. And now's where the fucking mainliners get annoying. Same with the isolationists. The isolationists summon cockroach malefactors. Like some connection between, I don't know, isolation in a prison cell and cockroaches crawling on you. Or isolation and drug abuse at this one. As we head outside, we run into the woman that leads the foundation. She was telling us before that her guards had turned on her and now work for Blackmore, but they work for her because, ooh, who could have saw that coming? Not really a good twist, but it was there for reasons, I guess. She's also the one that was driving us around in the truck when we had to do the on-rails shooter bits. Not really anything to note, you know. Boss fight with a helicopter. Again, standard shit of the time. Shoot her a bunch with the LMG we have because, you know, we just carry one of them around. Well, not even an LMG. I think that's just a fucking mounted. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Keep shooting the helicopter. Not really all that hard. Prison guards and stuff will jump down with different guns. You take them out, you grab their gun, you keep shooting. You know. This LMG was actually up on a ladder on the little alcove that's to our left there. 2 LMGs takes it out. I brought one in with me. That's it. Make it inside the building we were just next to. And we have to kill a bunch of these marksmen malefactors. These are either marksmen or firing squadrons. Shotguns on their back. The armored ones have machine guns on their back. They usually carry 2, I want to say scorpions? SMGs. 2 one-handed SMGs. And, yeah. Copperfield shows up again, gives us the soul. Song and dance, spiel, whatever. Pretty much saying, hey, jump in the hole. So we jump in the hole. And then we go to the drowning pool, where Blackmore would take his enemies and dispose of them.
Only the greatest stars can withstand the harsh words.
And now we hear from our psychiatrist, therapist, doctor. I mean, he experimented on people, so he's not, you know, a good doctor, but he's trying to figure out why Torque could kill these things.
But not quite like me.
And I have been treating you for so very long.
We have to listen to him go on and on about this, and these two here are like the judges, the creeper, and the slave hunter. So the first guy didn't help him at all. He got stuck on the geometry and I didn't want to kill him. His was easy enough, you could just run past him. So, didn't have to kill him, so I didn't. And then after each judgment, you have to fight a wave of enemies, which is why the entire room is stocked with healing and weapons. Going guns blazing this time because, hey, there's a lot of guns and stuff around. Not really remembering that, you can't pick up more ammo than what the gun has. And sometimes you can pick up extra ammo, but it's like 2 or 3 rounds. Switch over to the magnums. Again, they take out most enemies one shot. That's why you can only have like 12 shots of them, which is interesting. Another, I don't know if it's good or bad thing this game would do is your ammo count is how much ammo you have in total. So if you load your gun, the ammo count doesn't go down because you still have that ammo and haven't used it. So it shows you how many shots are left in your gun plus how many shots you have left total. That makes sense? Like now we have 8 and then 7, 6. You know. That's how it goes with that, which is, like I said, don't know if it's good or bad. And these fucking enemies. There's a weird thing about this game. I don't know if it was like programmed into it or just a quirk of its engine or whatnot. But when you hit certain surfaces with bullets, they're likely to bounce off, right? Sometimes when you hit concrete, you'll hear like a ricochet and you'll see it shoot off in another direction. But when you shoot metal, it's more likely to happen. And when you shoot the boss-style malefactors that can only be killed with the beast, you'll hear the ricochet sound non-stop, and you'll see the shots going everywhere, bouncing off of it. I don't know if it's a quirk with, like, the metal being able to do that, but these fucking dogs have a blade and, like, a metal harness on their head. So when you're trying to shoot at them, when they're running at you, your biggest target is their fucking head. and a lot of the shots just bounce off of them. It's annoying as hell to deal with. I eventually just get to a point where I bite the bullet on it and just start using melee against them. I think that's in the second run because I fail this run.
I'm ready to damn you right up, bitch boy. Nice one there. Yes, yes, yes.
But yeah, I fail this run, and like any good game from back then, they don't have fucking checkpoints through boss rushes or things like this, so I have to redo it all, which is annoying.
To that moment in his cell block when it all came to a head.
And what the fuck is up with you, my man? First I hear this.
Well, isn't it strange he's bringing up our friend when he's also talking about people that we either helped or killed?
What happened to him there?
But yeah, I end up grabbing the axe to use against the dogs in the second round of this because it's just easier to take a little damage and kill them. Next round, wipe them all out. It's mostly slicers, a couple of... Yeah, I forgot the name of the dudes with the flashlights and heads. Observers? Maybe? And dependent on how you acted in the game, you get a different boss here. And yeah, that's where I died the first time, and I had to redo it entirely. But dependent on if you did more good shit than bad shit, you get Copperfield to fight. If you did more bad shit than good shit, you get the Creeper to fight. So, it's neat that they change up one of the late stage bosses for it. We hit him, you only have to hit him like 3 or 4 times before he's considered down or dead. Ain't they just fucking lovely? Tear right into him.
Now, my little
Then we get a little flashback here.
I'll show you something special. In my game, I needed somewhere people could be taught a lesson.
They were pretty bad people, huh?
Oh yes, very bad. Cheaters, liars, fools. I tied them up first, and in they would go.
Could they get out?
No, that was the whole idea. They'd choke on the filth and waste in there, and they'd learn.
Damn!
Now, who have you brought with you there?
My little brother, Malcolm. Dumbass.
He's just in your way, isn't he?
Yeah, most times.
You'll never get far in the game with him holding you back. Go on. Shove him in. Teach him.
I don't know.
Think about it. What would your father do?
No! I won't do it! I'll never do it!
Too bad he has such a loser for a role model. But he's still cramping my game.
Well, less a flashback and more a hallucination? I don't know. This entire game is strange. And we black out again. Wake up next to a hellhole. Which is what they call this thing. Next to this, I don't know, a dude that knows a lot more than he should know. If you stay here by him, he'll tell you pretty much everything that's happened, along with explain the origin of, like, the Creeper and Copperfield and some of the enemies and areas you've been to.
Right up here's where
It's weird.
You and me got started.
As we head on through the city, we come to where Torque grew up. This children's home, this orphanage. Although orphanages really ain't things anymore. Make her way inside, get a flashback to when Torque was a kid.
Come over here. Come on now. I have to educate you. Do you know what you want to be when you grow up?
Happy.
Happy is not good enough. You've got to be a player. Then people respect you. You understand the difference?
I don't know.
That's okay, my little one. I've got years to teach you.
Who are you talking to?
Nobody.
Surprise, he was never really there.
You recognize this place? You tried your best to grow up here, learn the game. But there's only so much a little one can
Oh yeah, there's also a first-person mode in this game. You could play the entire game first-person if you wanted. I chose not to.
Not so.
Because it limits your field of view, and some of these enemies are fucking annoying, so... Chose not to play it in first-person view. But yeah, there's an entire first-person view to this game.
And you'd have to hurry.
Alright, come up here and you learn the truth of it all. Well, truth of Torque, that is. Real name Tyrese, I think? It's not really mentioned anywhere in the game.
These are the ties that bind us. You can't cut them. You can't burn them. You can't be rid of them. You just have to live with them. Or die with them, like Carmen, Corey, and Malcolm. You remember how that played out? Exactly how that played out? There's the kid. Set him up.
Man, you wait till I'm grown up. I'll show him.
I hear your old man's a real asshole.
See, the entire thing's tinted blue because this is the good karma version of this scene.
All the chemicals we gave him? I'm surprised Corey didn't kill half the city. Wasn't for me, he'd still be alive today. We've been through so much together. Do you remember?
And now the full reveal of it. Blackmore was never really there. Blackmore has only ever been in Torque's mind. He dreamed him up as an imaginary friend when he was a kid to help him cope with the shit situation he was in. And he ended up taking, I guess, dissociative identity disorder or some shit. Multiple personalities, back then, is what it was called. But yeah, whenever Torque would black out is when Blackmore would take over. That's also why Blackmore would goad Torque into letting the beast out and blacking out, you know.
That's funny. I thought I was there. I was there, in your eyes. Nobody else could see me. Those blackouts, there when I get my time. Get your body. Get to be me in the real world. Everybody else who knows Blackmore thinks I look like you. Because I am you. But we've only got the one body. And I'm tired of sharing.
Well, he says he looks exactly like him, but he doesn't. He doesn't actually look exactly like him. On the pictures around the sides of the room here, which I'll show you, Blackmore looks a lot like Torque, except he has the burns and shit on side of his face. And he is blind in one eye. Beyond that, they do look exactly the same.
You really believe it's
now the final boss fight. This boss fight goes one of two ways dependent on how your karma... Well, one of three ways. But no one really plays these games with neutrality in mind. You can't shoot him and hurt him. That's how that goes. He can also summon malefactors and control them for some reason. So the malefactors that summon other malefactors are brought in. You kill them, you get beast mode. And then that's the only way you can hurt him. Which is interesting. He can also knock us out of it and take beast mode from us. But his is different. His is the completely evil version of it. The more bestial version of it. Because if you're good karma, you kind of stop him from being able to to push his mind over Torx when he does this. The marksman version of beast mode also makes it really easy just to deal with him.
Played right. I couldn't get you.
That's it. The game's done. Kind of an anticlimactic ending, but that's how most games back then were. This ending, Blackmore fades into nothing. If you do an evil ending, he takes over completely and you become Blackmore. So, neutral ending, I don't really know. I guess they just go back to the way it was.
This binder contains a quick overview of the different malefactors that Foundation scientists and containment personnel have observed on the streets of Baltimore during our initial sweep. This does not represent the extent of our current knowledge, but provides a succinct overview for those who wish to become acquainted with our subject matter. One of our most interesting finds during the Carnate Island containment operation was a journal written by a fairly intelligent escaping inmate by the name of Clem. He had composed and illustrated a bestiary of all the malefactors he had seen, and had named them in an amusing style. Impressed by his work, we've decided to continue his naming convention herein. Slayer. This is the most pervasive of all the malefactors we've encountered. The Slayer has a basic human body shape, but with blades replacing the legs and arms and a metallic apparatus suspending the head. Given its context, the Slayer's appearance evokes blade-wielding street criminals, though the malefactors' blades are longer and sharper than one would normally find even on the most violent Baltimore streets. Arsonist. This malefactor is most curious because of its ability to survive despite being perpetually engulfed in flame. Its fire is persistent and never extinguishes for as long as its host lives. Its flesh appears to flake off as it chars, yet the malefactor seems unhurt. Baltimore has a high incidence of abandoned building fires, often with squatters and other impoverished people trapped in these run-down buildings and burned alive. If only they could survive as well as the arsonist. Gorger. Along with the Carnate Island malefactor the Fester, this Gorger is distinct because of its constant need to feed as part of its innate behavior. With its incredibly sharp teeth and highly muscled jaw, this malefactor seems built to do precisely that. This creature appears to be the incarnation of a popular Baltimore urban legend that tells of an insatiable creature that feeds on whatever it can find. Triggerman. A human corpse forms the center of this malefactor. The body appears to have suffered multiple gunshot wounds, particularly to its head, which has lost a significant portion of its mass. The malefactor's legs are vaguely arachnid in form and incorporate some type of automatic rifle. As with the Slayer, this Triggerman seems to tie to Baltimore's tragically prevalent street crime, with a high number of homicides each year resulting from gun violence. Mainliner. An offshoot of the mainliner seen on Carnate, this malefactor's appearance is evocative of the numerous junkies that one finds in Baltimore's poorest neighborhoods. Its innate behavior is to assault enemies with its syringes, suggesting that it's more of an aggressive drug dealer than a drug abuser. The syringes we have analyzed contain a unique heroin-derived concoction that is capable of instantly killing almost any human immediately upon injection. Marksman. This malefactor is nearly identical to the ones we saw in large quantities on Carnate Island. It wears a giant battery of rifles on its back and is able to erupt out of the ground, a particularly impressive sight due to its significant size. In Baltimore's troubled past, there were a few rare occasions of the military being called out to quell civilian uprisings. One can only imagine how this marksman ties to those intense events. Mauler. One of the few malefactors that does not derive from a human skeleton, these beasts do still feature a hideous human skull. Named the Mauler for their savage biting attacks, these malefactors are relentless in their pursuit of a target and seem to be insatiable in their appetite for human flesh. Their appearance often coincides with the manifestation of an apparition, a large human who seems to be their master. Burrower. Cities are built on the backs of those who labored and died to build their underground infrastructure. Just as those laborers needed to adapt to their hostile working conditions, so too has this burrower. This malefactor actually moves beneath the surface of the earth at tremendous speed. The exact physics of how it accomplishes this remain a mystery, especially given that it can successfully tunnel through a wide variety of materials. Suppressor. The suppressor is surprisingly mobile, given that it's missing a number of its limbs and seems to have lost some of its senses. This malefactor can only see enemies when they step into its intense beam of light, but it is relentless once it's spotted a target. Given its appearance and its tendency to show up near Eastern Baltimore Correctional, it seems to be connected to that institution's infamous and brutal Correctional Emergency Response Team, CERT. Isolationist. This malefactor thrives in the darkness and tries to make its environment as dark as possible by disabling or destroying light sources. We've not been able to get a good look at the isolationist, let alone capture one. It appears to have a unique relationship with a cockroach-like malefactor, the Wretch, which it spawns in large numbers. One cannot help but think of inmates locked away in solitary when one glimpses the isolationist. The Horde. By far, this is the largest malefactor that we have witnessed. It is unclear to us if the Horde is unique or if we have simply never seen more than one at a time. It seems like a distant, much larger cousin to the Burrower, but obviously more deadly and destructive. This gigantic malefactor appears to have countless small animal heads sprouting from its body, evoking a mob or horde come to visit their uncontrollable anger upon the unwary.
An old station. A slave state, Maryland sat on the border between the slave-holding South and the free North. Because of this, the state hosted numerous important stations on the Underground Railroad. It was at one of these safe havens in Baltimore that the slave hunter Copperfield revealed his true sadism. The tale says, Copperfield smiled as he let his rabid dogs loose on a number of bountiless runaways, directing the beasts to devour the helpless slaves alive. The legend of the Creeper. The police have no record of a man named Luther Stickwell, but the people of Baltimore remember him as the Creeper. The legends say he was a pimp whose hatred of women knew no limit, and he ended up killing not only the women in his employ, but also any others who suited his fancy. His eventual body count ranging from 50 to over 200. Few things make me as ill as when I hear he still skulks through the alleyways of Baltimore. Canal Street Mission. One of Baltimore's most tragic stories takes place during the Great Depression. In the 1930s, there was a reverend who, when his soup kitchen ran bare, served up human corpses to his starving followers. This is tied to a persistent urban legend about a creature known as the Gorger. During the food shortages, mothers would tell their children that the Gorger had eaten all of their food, and if they did not behave, he might soon eat them as well.
Like I said, I'd toss in the bestiary here at the end, along with some art of the Creeper, since we didn't really get to see much of him there. Hope you enjoyed it. Happy Halloween. Thanks for watching.